any worry going on in the WNBA executive offices, if there is no worry, oh, people aren't going to turn off, oh, people are still going to show up, if that was the thought that they were having up there in WNBA La La Land, well, now might be the time to hit the panic button. 48 hours after news hits that Caitlin Clark is injured and she'll be missing 2 weeks, the market has responded and the market has told the WNBA.
It's about to happen. The WNBA teams that move their games, this is about to be catastrophic.
What if the biggest challenge facing the WNBA today isn't coming from rival leagues, declining ratings, or criticism from the media, but from its own fans? Imagine waking up to see social media completely flooded with angry reactions, thousands of passionate supporters demanding answers, and one name dominating every conversation, Caitlin Clark. Now, many believe the pressure has reached a level the league simply can't ignore. Reports and online reactions have sparked intense debate after WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert found herself at the center of growing criticism from fans who say the league has failed to protect its biggest stars while also failing to capitalize on the unprecedented attention Caitlin Clark has brought to women's basketball. Whether you agree or disagree, one thing is undeniable: the conversation has become impossible to ignore. Across YouTube, X, Instagram, and sports talk shows, fans are asking the same questions. Has the WNBA mishandled its fastest-growing superstar? Is the league doing enough to support the players driving record-breaking TV ratings, sold-out arenas, and massive merchandise sales? And perhaps the biggest question of all, could this controversy change the future of the league? As emotions continue to rise, every interview, every press conference, and every public statement is being analyzed frame by frame. Supporters of Caitlin Clark argue that the league must respond more aggressively to concerns surrounding physical play and player safety, while others insist that tough competition has always been part of professional basketball. The divide has created one of the most heated debates the WNBA has seen in years. Now, all eyes are on Cathy Engelbert. Is she about to silence the critics with a powerful response, or will this controversy continue to grow even larger? Fans are waiting for answers, and every new development seems to raise even more questions than it answers. In today's video, we're breaking down exactly what happened, why Caitlin Clark's fanbase is putting unprecedented pressure on the WNBA, what Cathy Engelbert reportedly had to say, and why this story could have major implications for the future of the league. Stay with us until the end, because some of the latest reactions have left even longtime basketball fans completely stunned.
But we don't want this. What am I talking about? Indiana Fever ticket prices to games over the next 2 weeks have dropped 42% since Caitlin Clark's injury announcement, an average ticket price of $137.
The WNBA isn't on time. To be honest, the WNBA made this situation worse by making it happen. Due to a quad injury, Caitlin Clark, the player who brought in fans and kept the TV ratings high, can't play right now. And the league, which fans think has treated their favorite player unfairly, has planned this behavior as a reaction. It will only take a few months for her to find out what life is like without her biggest draw.
I don't know when it happened. I know afterwards, we got a message that she had something going on with her leg, and we were getting an MRI, and then we got the yesterday.
Was it after the Liberty game on Saturday?
Is that her last game? Yeah. Yes.
Steph, you had a chance to try out.
Let's see what's going on here. Indiana Fever coach Stephanie White says Clark will be looked at again in 2 weeks. But anyone who has had problems with their quads knows that this plan is at best optimistic. I think it will take longer, so we think it will take between 2 and 6 weeks to heal. This change to the schedule is not a small one. There is a real hurt here that needs time to heal. But now things start to get interesting. Before Clark arrived, a number of teams and the WNBA made big financial commitments. There will be 15,000 people in Baltimore to see the Washington Mystics play Indiana. They played at the United Center instead of the Rose Bowl. The Mavericks play at the American Airlines Center, which is where the Dallas game was moved. These choices are not small ones. All of these things, advertising efforts, extra staff, security, and venue rental payments, depend on how well one player does.
Yeah, I don't know how things work in pretend basketball. I don't know the history of transparency when it comes to timelines for injury returns in the WNBA. But I do know in the NBA, Teams are rarely transparent with injuries. When the Pelicans say Zion Williamson will be reevaluated in 2 weeks,
fans may not be going to these places as much as they used to because of ticket sales. In addition, the fans' goals are not hidden. On social media, people are saying they will sell their tickets, change their plans, or just not go to any games until Clark comes back. One fan said they were selling their Fever Mystics tickets because they didn't want to go from Washington, D.C., to Baltimore without seeing Clark perform. The fan said that they would make it harder for the league to get accurate information on how many people watched live games. After the fact, they would only watch Fever games. These are not separate events. Fans who believe in their favorite sport are acting in this way on purpose. As a response, fans who think the league has treated their favorite player unfairly have planned these actions. I was treated badly by the league. And let's be honest about what's really making people so angry. It's not just Clark's injuries. It's about how the WNBA has treated her during her time in the league. The league's goal to make money off of her fame while also weakening her has been a strange contradiction from the start. News reporters and players and reporters often disagreed about who should get the attention and how important it was to recognize other players. How the attention should be split up and how other people should be acknowledged. It's not possible to have both good and bad things with this plan. You can't build your marketing plan around someone and then be shocked when they leave, leaving a big hole in the plan. When Clark played, the WNBA got TV numbers that had never been seen before. All of a sudden, almost 1 million people were watching sports that usually only 200,000 people would watch. Some stadiums that had trouble selling even 5,000 tickets before were able to sell out venues with 20,000 seats. The league often felt anxious about Clark's control over the story instead of recognizing it. They tried to make it all about one guy instead of realizing that he was responsible for most of the league's growth. They will soon find out the unpleasant truth about how their fans and TV numbers would be without her. Worrying questions are raised by the damage itself. A lot of people are wondering if Clark came back too soon after hurting his quads in the summer. When you play in a league with a short season and tough competition, you should have put your most valuable asset first. Instead, the most important player in the league might not be able to play for a long time this season. Unfortunately, the most important player in the league may now miss large parts of the season. During a big part of the season. There is a big business risk with this arrangement. Finally, more people were watching the WNBA. The deals for TV were getting better. There was a lot of interest in sponsorship, and the mainstream media was paying attention. All of this was possible because Clark was liked by a lot of people and could bring in casual fans who wouldn't normally watch women's basketball. Fans who are just interested don't really care about any other stars or teams. People only won't watch Washington play Chicago because Chicago has great basketball. One player got them interested in the WNBA, and now that player is gone, the interest is gone. This is not meant to be a jab at the other talented players in the league. That's how star power works in the sports world. It will be hard to get people to show up. Moving a game from an arena with only 7,000 seats to a stadium with 20,000 seats and betting that the extra demand will justify the move is a big risk. These teams didn't act like they were trying to even things out. They were ready for tickets to sell out quickly and cost a lot. They are looking into playing in arenas that are only partly full right now. Even without all the extra costs that come with changing the place, it will look terrible. Television cameras show that stadiums that were supposed to be packed with people have thousands of empty seats. This shows how popular the league really is without Clark. People who work for TV networks and sponsors notice this kind of image, which could affect future deals and partnerships. Everything that happened was the league's fault, which makes it even more angry. The league is mad about the problem because it made it happen. The WNBA has a great chance to promote other players and make the most of Clark's success. Instead, many people seem to see what she has done as something that gets in the way instead of something that helps. It seemed like they wouldn't take anything she had to offer. The way fans are reacting now is what you would expect from that technique. If someone decides to focus on someone else after you've taught them for months that their favorite player isn't really that great, don't be surprised. The WNBA will have to face the fact that fans only stick with them when a player is hurt. Some people say that not going to games while Clark is hurt is too much. Some people might say it's not fair to not go to games because Clark is hurt. People will say that fans should still cheer for the team and other stars, but that's not at all what they mean. Fans of these teams stopped supporting the WNBA. Because they watched the WNBA, they became Caitlin Clark fans. There is a very important difference there. Fans of Clark could become fans of the WNBA as a whole if the league tried hard enough. That, however, requires a sincere effort to bring about that conversion. Instead, it seemed like the idea was that once people started watching, they would just love everything else. This isn't how fans act, especially those who only watch sports occasionally. There are effects on money that go beyond just ticket sales and TV ratings. Things are expected to sell less well. Sponsorship activation is harder to do when your big attraction isn't taking part. Without Clark's plans to follow, the media will naturally pay less attention. All parts of the league's business plan are affected by the ripples. All parts of the league's business plan are affected by the ripples. Because of the ripples. This is the worst part. Things could have been avoided in this case. This whole thing could have been avoided with better load management, better ways to avoid injuries, and maybe giving the player more time to recover from an earlier quad problem. But the need to cash in on Clark's fame may have led to choices that put short-term profits ahead of the health of the players in the long run. This is happening at a very important time in the league's history, which makes the timing even worse. The WNBA was finally becoming more well-known, but to keep this going, they had to be consistent. If your most famous person isn't there for a long time, you won't be able to get more regular fans. These people may not come back. That people who watched will come back. They'll just watch something else instead. It will be interesting to see how the league handles this. Do they know the truth about Clark's effect on their team, or do they think that every player is equally important to the WNBA's success? With the number of people expected to show up and watch on TV in the next few weeks, it will be hard to make that point. In a strange twist, the WNBA spent a lot of time trying to prove that Clark wasn't essential to their success. They will soon have the chance to show how good they are at drawing without her, which is exactly what they want to do. The problem is that all of the early signs point to a bad outcome for their quest. There is more to the boycott movement than just Clark's injuries. Fans think the league has shown disrespect to the player who got them interested in the sport. Right now, there is a perfect storm because of the underlying anger and the fact that many fans only follow one player. Teams that put a lot of money on Clark's skill to draw will soon find out what they lost. Her appearance was necessary for the rescheduled games, more money spent on marketing, and higher hopes. Her appearance was necessary for the rescheduled games, more money spent on marketing, and higher hopes. Without her, they become expensive lessons in how dangerous it is to base your whole plan on one person, especially if you haven't made enough backup plans. The WNBA is about to learn how to make money off of stars. They will see what their media coverage, attendance numbers, and TV ratings are like without their main attraction. Also, those numbers won't be good based on how fans have responded so far. The injury will be the most concrete answer to the ongoing argument about whether star power or group growth is more important. Statistics don't lie, and they'll make it very clear who really gets people interested in the WNBA. When you bite the hand that feeds you, bad things happen. That's what the WNBA will learn. The hand that feeds you is about to. There is a hard truth that the WNBA is about to face. What happens when you bite the hand that feeds you? Hey, welcome to the WNBA. Someone who makes it clear who is most important to their bottom line. It's clear who is most important to their bottom line based on these empty stadiums and low ratings. By those stadiums that were empty and the low ratings. How do you feel about everything in general? Leave your thoughts in the box below, follow, and make sure all of your notifications are turned on so you don't miss anything. When you click on the movie, we'll see you in the next one.